Around and Find Out design. It's an honor and a privilege to get to take on the role as architect of the Alien Envoy installation. Now, what does the inside of a spaceship look like? We talked about sort of the vision and the aesthetic that we were going for with this Alien Envoy installation. And my biggest jumping off point inspiration was crop circles. Straight lines, geometry, intersecting geometry, thinking almost like orbits, just celestial geometry was my inspiration. So I happen to have a lot of extra drywall from a previous project, and I decided to do this completely out of drywall. What I did was I wanted to start with perfect circles, secured to a stable point in the center of my drywall, extend a string out with my writing utensil, and just go around in a circle. Then choke it up a bit, make a smaller circle inside of that. Waste not, want not, right? Get more bang for your buck. Same piece of drywall, multiple circles. I even stacked two pieces of drywall on top of each other so that when I was going around it with the jigsaw, I was able to cut out two at once. I did not go into this with a final vision. I had a general vision. So I just cut out a bunch of random shapes and then I toted them inside, started playing around, arranging them, seeing how I wanted them to fall, if I wanted them to wrap around corners, how I wanted it to engage with the whole space. And I gotta say, it was really fun. I want to do this some more. I have used liquid nails and then screws to attach them to the walls. And because my design is wrapping around the corner, I'm using these protective corner pieces because I don't want them to get bumped or just, wear and tear of people using the space would booger up the drywall. So I have my first layer of my textured mud on the wall. And as you can see, it almost looks like grass cloth wallpaper, which is very expensive. So I'm super pleased with how this is turning out. So I'm going to be making this texture be directional. My background is uppy downy with my lines, and of course they're not perfect like with a ruler. I wanted them to look a bit organic, but I did make sure that I was going perpendicular with the floor throughout the wall. And then in my circles, I'm going to be doing a curved, make the texture be directional in the shape of the circles. So I wanted to show how I am doing this up close and in real time. All right, regular old mud. I have not diluted it at all. This is like full strength, already mixed up box of mud and a kitchen sponge. I also have trowel, just a little tiny spackling knife all right. So I have a couple of techniques. Sometimes I just dip it up, like dip on a chip and just wipe it on and let the streaks be the texture. But sometimes, like in the case of this corner here, where I was covering up the metal corners, it required more mud to smooth it out. And I haven't sanded it the way I normally would. So I'm going to apply just a little more thicker version of the texture just to give me a little more forgiveness and have it look perfect, but hiding some of those imperfections. Okay, here I go. Okay, so I just smeared it on. And it doesn't have to be very thick if I'm working on a smooth wall. And I'm just leaving the tiniest streaks in it and playing with it until it feels right and it looks right. Sometimes I use the scratchy, scrubby pad side of this kitchen sponge, and sometimes I just use the sponge. Depends on how I'm feeling. I am obsessed with how this project turned out. The spaceship architecture, the celestial geometry, the texture that happened with the mud, how gorgeous it looks painted, and how it's interacting with all the other features in the space is chef's hiss. I want to do this everywhere. I love it so much. I hope it inspires you to do some as well. Please comment your thoughts, or if you decide to try this, let us know how it goes. Bye!